steam, those are things that are grilled. Okay, which other English words do we use? Let me pick on Jen Francis as we wait for our friends. What do we do to matoke? Let me now be more specific. For matoke, what do we do? What are the verbs we can apply on matoke? Katono, yes, Katono is the right person for this question. Yes, Katono. That was Blessing.
Peel.
We?
Peel.
After peeling, what do we do? Yes, Katono.
We can cook them or steam them.
Okay, we can steam or we can boil. That is the other alternative. What about for Irish? What do we do to Irish? What action can we perform on Irish? Sasuke? Yes, Sasuke. Okay, it seems,
We peel and boil. We
Irish
fry.
Okay, now Irish is for frying. We can fry Irish. What else do we fry? Have you tasted cassava chips?
Yes.
Yes, and potatoes?
Yes.
Yes, so all those can be fried. Those, now I'm teaching you the kitchen language. Those are the right words you'd say that I grilled the chicken, you know, or I roasted meat. For the sake of our Muslim friends, we shall say the animal. Who knows the animal? Prudy. Yes, Prudy. Okay. Okay. Yes. All right, since Prudy's network is not so clear, what else do we do to, what else do we steam? What else do we steam? Blessing has already spoken. Kasut. Matoke, we boil matoke. Other people even steam it. They have their own way. For example, this other one, that is not matoke. Anyway, gonja. Gonja is what we can also steam. There are different ways of preparing. There's another kitchen language where people say parboil. Try to find out the meaning of parboil. So those are the different kinds of words or the different kind of actions we can perform in food or to food, different kinds of foods. Now, vegetables are steamed. You can also steam vegetables. Those are the different kinds of words you can use in the kitchen. Today, that was just a reminder, or trying to put you up or keep you up with the pace we are at. So I will stop there for that. And then I go to the next element. All those who are sharing, I can see. And I've been Chiravo, all those who are typing in the chat, I'm able to see. Morning to you. Oh, yes, sometimes we can mash Irish, especially for the babies, you know, even we mash matoke and all that. So thank you so much for sharing. Let us now go to our actual lesson. Today, I want to introduce us to what we call digestion. That's what we want to look at today. Want to be able to look at digestion. And for all those who remember what they learned about digestion in primary, this is the right time for you to come out and shock us with your knowledge of primary. We are going to have a very interactive class. So if you have your primary book nearby, it is time for us to consult it. So this is our third lesson this week. And I am still your teacher, Mr. Lurry. And the topic today is the digestive system. We are going to look at the digestive system. I hope we can see that. Teacher, on my screen, I can only see Mpoma. Can you now see? Mr. Otto, are you there? If you can be able to see, please let me know. Blessing, can you see my screen?
Yes,
Avia,
teacher.
what is on my screen?
I'm seeing what's like topic, the digestive system.
Good. So all those who are now, I think I have sorted that. Today we are going to look at the digestive system. What do you remember about the digestive system? What is digestion? Those are the questions that should be coming to our minds. What are the things that are responsible for digestion? So let's dive straight into this. Maybe let us be able to define digestion. Let us be able to define digestion. And then we also try to use the other knowledge. Before we look at number 2, well, I want us to define digestion. Then I show you the human system that is responsible. Then we remind ourselves of some of those things. So Waraga Calvin has run away and seen his hand. Let me see, there is Timothy Clickers. Yes.
Digestion is the process by which food is broken down into smaller particles that can be used by the body.
It is the process by which foods are broken down into smaller particles that can be absorbed into the body. I agree with him, and we can maybe get a second opinion from Nakato. How does she define, or how did they define digestion to her? Yes, Nakato.
Yes, teacher.
What is digestion?
Teacher, whatever I say that digestion is the breakdown of large insoluble food molecules into small water-soluble food molecules so that they can be absorbed into the watery blood plasma.
Okay, hey, you are a bit advanced, but we appreciate. Thank you so much. The whole point is from the insoluble to soluble, and later on it can be absorbed into our bodies. Are we together? That is a good one as well. Let me take Shadik. Yes, Shadik.
Master.
Yes.
Master.
Yes.
I'm defining digestion.
Yes, yes.
Digestion is the process by which insoluble food is changed into soluble substances.
Does it stop there? Where is the process taking place?
In the human body.
Exactly. So you need to tell us that you need to have a comprehensive answer so that we know that this is happening in our body and all that. I remember you looked at different parts of that body, that human system that is responsible for that. So here with me, I have that picture, and this picture is going to help us to remember that system. So we shall use this system to guide us. Are you seeing that properly?
Yes, Master.
Okay. So I want us to remember, I want this picture to aid us to remember how digestion takes place. This picture is going to help us to know what happens to this food that we put in our mouth. What happens to it to the point where you tell me, Mr. May I go for a long call? That is the point that I am interested in hearing today. What happens? But teacher, I have never been picked. Mwesigwa, I am very sorry. Let me even, where is Mwesigwa? Let me just say hello to Mwesigwa. Mwesigwa, Yohani. Mwesigwa is even holy. Mwesigwa holy? I have allowed you to.
Yes, please, teacher.
Yes, how are you?
Fine, thank you, teacher.
It is not intentional that I do not pick you. In
Okay.
short, I'm apologizing. Oh, that is how you reply. Okay. I thought you're supposed to say it is fine, I'm okay with it. Make me also feel good.
Okay.
All right. So what do you want to share with us?
Digestion is a breakdown of large food particles into small food particles that can be absorbed in the bloodstream.
Into the bloodstream. Thank you so much for sharing. We
Welcome.
appreciate it. Okay, I never choose not to pick people. It is just maybe the timing. Okay, so we have Mick here is saying the breakdown of food into smaller soluble substances that can be absorbed into the bloodstream. Thank you so much. Yes, we all now know the definition. So that's what I was saying, that from knowing the difference between food crops and cash crops, now we went down to knowing how to prepare our own meals. Now, I am assuming we have this food in front of us. The Rolex is there, the meat is there. Maybe you've roasted your steamed your gonja, your greens. We want to now analyze those things. When you put them into our bodies, what happens? That's what we are looking at. Which process do they go through? How do they reach to this last bit where we say, please, sir, may I go out for a long call? So as a group, I want us to be guided by this picture. I am going to break us into small groups. And in those groups, I am going to ask us to discuss and remember this process. I'm only going to give you less than 10 minutes because I have more work to share with you. Also, in our Google Classroom, I have been able to share a video that can help you further to polish your knowledge of how food is broken down. So I'm going to break us into small groups. And in those small groups, like we did last time, I'm going to ask us to discuss meaningfully within 10 minutes. Then we shall use about 10 minutes to present. Then I also give you a process. I also give you my side of how I think this food is broken down, or I will give you my guide. And then I will also ask you questions from that passage. I have a passage on digestion, but I have also shared the video that can enable you is broken down. People's hands are up. If you want to ask before I break you into rooms, this is the time. Noelin Kasuti.
Excuse me, teacher. I've not understood your instructions.
Okay, I have said I'm going to break us into small groups. And in those small groups, we are going to attempt this number that I have put here. Do you see number 2?
Yes.
Yes. So I want you to discuss as a group, what did you learn about the digestive system in your primary school? Use the picture below to aid you explain the process of digestion. Are we together? The person who was asking, does that make sense now? Noelin? Okay. Barack Samuel, your hand is up. If you want to ask something, this is the time. Okay, it seems Barack's hand was... Barack? Okay, without wasting more time, let us get to breakaway rooms. I'm going to break us into different rooms, and we shall use those rooms to make as much time as we can for our work. Okay, so I'm going to make 6 rooms. Okay. So I'll create. We shall use 10 minutes to remind of this process. In case you're new, you will have members in your group. They will be able to aid you, and also we shall go through the work. So in your group, you will be allowed. Okay. Yes, I will allow maybe a member to share screen if they have something they want to show us. That is okay. You'll be automatically assigned to a group. You'll be automatically assigned to a group. So those who are wondering how it will happen, you'll be automatically assigned to a group. Kwesigwa, you can join any group.
I think he's out of a meeting.
Sorry, members. I'm here. I was actually waiting for you to present. I've been picking on Julia to speak.
Yes, teacher.
Which group?
Group 2.
Yes, group 2. Can you give us the process? The process is what I'm waiting for.
We had ingestion, propulsion, physical digestion, chemical digestion, absorption, and defecation.
Can you tell us now how it all happens?
Yeah, so ingestion is a consumption of a substance by an organism. Propulsion is the movement of food through the digestive tract. Then physical digestion is a taking in of food. Chemical digestion begins from the mouth and ends in the stomach. Absorption takes place in the small intestines and ends in the bloodstream. Defecation is a taking out of waste out of the body.
Okay, thank you. That is a summarized one. I thank you so much for sharing. Next group, Kwesiga Trevor. Yes. Kwesiga.
Digestion works by moving food through the GI tract. Digestion begins in the mouth with chewing and ends in the small intestines. Digestion works by moving food through the GI tract. Digestion begins in the mouth with chewing and ends in the small intestine. As food passes through the duodenum, it mixes with digestive juices, causing large molecules of food to break down into small molecules. The digestive processes are ingestion, propulsion, mechanical digestion, chemical digestion, absorption, and defecation. Some chemical digestion occurs in the mouth. Some absorption can occur in the mouth and stomach, for example, alcohol and aspirin. What is the process of digestion step by step? There are 4 steps in the digestion process: ingestion, the mechanical and chemical breakdown of food, nutrient absorption, and elimination of indigestible food. Why does digestion take place? Digestion is important for breaking down food into nutrients, which the body uses for energy, growth, and cell repair. Food and drink must be changed into small molecules of nutrients before the blood absorbs them and carries them to cells throughout the body. What are the 14 parts of the digestive system? The main organs that make up the digestive system in order of their function are the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. Helping them along the way are the pancreas, gallbladder, and liver.
Okay.
Are you done? I'm still speaking, no? The food you eat takes an incredible journey through your body from top, that is your mouth, to bottom, that is your anus. Along the way, the beneficial parts of your food are absorbed, giving you energy and nutrients. Here is a step-by-step account of the digestive system's workings. Your digestive system is made up of the gastrointestinal tract and your liver, pancreas, and gallbladder. The GI, called the gastrointestinal tract, is a series of hollow organs that are connected to each other from your mouth to your anus. The organs that make up the GI tract in the order that they are connected include your mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and anus. What does the digestive system do? The digestive system is uniquely constructed to do its job of turning your food into the nutrients and energy you need to survive. And when it's done with that, it hardly packages your solid waste or stool for disposal when you have a bowel movement. Why is digestion important?
Okay, no, I'm not going to.
It is.
Excuse me, Kwesiga.
Yeah.
I was more interested in just that process from the mouth until the anus. The other bits we shall leave to the biology teachers, but we're interested in the fact that food is put in the mouth and the process of digestion starts until the solid waste is passed out through your anus. That is what I will check for now. Is that okay?
Yes, this mouth, esophagus, stomach, gallbladder, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus.
Thank you. That is exactly what I am interested in. So those are the different stages, just like I had shown you that diagram. That diagram is supposed to show you the different parts and what they play. For example, where does the absorption happen? Kwesiga? Oh, he has run away. Let me take the next group.
Teacher, teacher, in our group, we discussed someone eats food. In the mouth, there is chemical digestion. After taking in the food into the mouth, it is chewed and then it passes through the gullet into the stomach to digest and broken down enzymes. After it flows into the intestines for more absorption.
Yes.
I'm done.
Okay. So from after absorption, what happens? Because you're done absorbing the chemicals or the small nutrients that can be taken to the body. What happens to the rest? That's what I'm interested in finding out. Nancy has run away. Chigongo. The last presenter is going to be Chigongo. And then I also share with you a passage which will help to make sense of what you've been telling me.
Good morning, teacher.
Good morning, Chigongo.
Teacher Lurry, for me, I was saying that chemical digestion is one which takes place in the mouth, and when food is absorbed in the mouth, it goes straight to the stomach. From the stomach to when the food is digested in the stomach, then it goes through the anus for defecation.
Straight from the small intestines to the anus. Something is missing there. Something is missing there. From the small intestines, there should be another passage. Then later on, the anus comes out as the last. Kwesiga wants to make Kwesiga very fast.
After the absorption of the food, the nutrients are then absorbed by the bloodstream.
What happens to the yes?
Once the nutrients are absorbed by the intestine, they pass into the bloodstream and they are carried to the liver. The liver has the job of processing.
I am interested in the solid waste which remains after this one has been absorbed. What cannot be absorbed from the small intestines? Where is it passed to? Okay, now it seems my passage is now very important. So we all agree up to this stage that food processing or food breaking or breaking down of food starts from the mouth That's where digestion starts. Now I want us to look at a simple example I have through a passage called There Goes a Samosa, you know, what we call sumbusa. I want us to look at that and see how food is broken down through the aid of that element called a samosa. If you can see my screen, you let me know. If you can see my screen, you let me know. If you can see my screen, you let me know. Jonathan, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. I hope you were just telling me you can see my screen, then I go to the passage. Do you want to read for us the passage?
Yes.
Okay. This passage will aid us to know how food is broken down. So you read for us this passage very fast, and then we see what happens.
Please.
Please read for us.
I'm not seeing anything, sir.
What do you mean you cannot see anything? Let me, Prudy, just a minute. Prudy, can you see my screen?
Can you see? Yes.
You can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, now read for us.
You have not yet tapped to the passage.
I beg your pardon?
You have not yet tapped to the passage.
But it's
Tap
what
to
is
the
on
passage.
screen. It's what is on screen. Who can see my screen? For example, let me pick just a minute. Tendo, can you see my screen? Tendo, can you see my screen?
Yes, teacher, I can see.
Can you read for me?
Yeah. There is quick access, desktop, download documents, pictures.
Oh, just a minute. Let me close this. And then I share my screen afresh. Tenda, you just let me know if you can now see our can you see?
Yes.
Okay, what do you see?
There goes another sumbusa.
Okay.
Teacher, I read on.
Please.
Teacher.
Please, time, read.
Hey, there goes another sumbusa. Have a sumbusa. You bite into it, you chew it, the saliva in your mouth mixes with it and it is turned into a mash pulp. Suddenly, it is no longer a sumbusa. The process of digestion has already begun. When you swallow it, the sumbusa goes into your food pipe called the esophagus, which carries it to your stomach. The stomach is located just below the breastbone. There, the pulp is mixed with all an liquid with gastric juice, which helps break down even further. The food pulp is turned around in your stomach for from 2 to 6 hours. before it passes into the small intestines. The intestine may be small, but it is certainly not short. About 7 meters long, almost 4 times as long as the tallest person in the class. The small intestine is folded and packed to fit in quite a small space in your body. It is here that the best important part of the digestive process takes place. This is the breaking down of the food pulp into a form that can be absorbed through the wall of the intestine into your bloodstream, which carries it to another parts of your body. Teacher, have finished.
Please continue.
The parts of the food which your body cannot use are passed from the small intestine to the large intestine, where some water is removed and absorbed into the bloodstream. What is left of the original sambusa is pushed along the narrow end of the large intestine, the rectum, and out of your body through the anus.
Okay.
Adopted from Integrated English.
Okay, so that is something we can associate with. So Liz here shares, in the mouth, food is chewed, it's mixed with saliva, and it's turned into a mushy pulp in the stomach, mixed with acidic liquid, broken down the small intestines. Food pulp is okay. Yes, Liz has also shared something very interesting here, and it is a good one. That is exactly what it is. So this passage, in short, gives us the process. Just like we had all agreed in the first paragraph, we all get to agree that digestion starts from the mouth. Later on, when this food is swallowed, it goes down through which part of the body? Remember, I shared the diagram with you. It goes down through the food pipe. That food pipe is also called the esophagus, which carries it to your stomach. Where is the stomach located? We also want to know these body parts. The stomach is located just below the breastbone. We all know where it is. There, the pulp is mixed with an acidic liquid, we call the gastric juice, which helps to break it down even further. So food is broken further in the stomach through the assist of what we call the acidic liquid called gastric acid or gastric juice, which then after that is done, the food is pushed from the stomach to the next stage. But it takes some time in your stomach. We are told about 2 to 6 hours. That's why we take long to get hungry. Your food is first in the stomach being turned and broken down. So it is later on pushed to the small intestine. So most of us were sharing this. It was very true. I'm only confirming to you through this passage. From the small intestines, like many of you said, and I will agree with you, that is where food is absorbed. Absorption takes place in the small intestines. What cannot be, when we talk about absorption, the small particles are taken into the bloodstream, like most of you are saying, and later on pumped to other parts of the body. However, I'm interested in what happens to the remaining part of the sambusa. The remaining part of the sambusa is pushed from the small intestines to the large intestines, where the remaining waters are absorbed. When that water is absorbed, later on it's pushed from the large intestines to the rectum, and finally to the last bit, which is your anus. So that is the process of digestion. We all understand it, and I appreciate. However, I have a simple assignment waiting down here. This one we are going to attempt, or we can try out this one as a class. After reading this passage, or with the knowledge you have, find other words that mean the same as esophagus. There's other words that mean gastric juice. The other word that, or the other phrase that means the most important part of the digestive process, which one is that one? And then the other word which also means the rectum. So we can handle that one very fast as a class. As a class, by show of hands. I see many hands are up already. Chirabo, can you tell us? It seems Chirabo has run away. Tendo, no. Avia.
The other word for
Avia.
esophagus is gullet.
Okay, it seems Avia is also not on. Cortez. Oh. Yes, Cortez, people who had raised their hands. My network just jumped off, but here I am now. Could you be able to share with us? Very fast. Let me pick Mark. Mark, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, which other word can replace esophagus?
Gullet.
The esophagus is also called gullet. According to this passage, which other word could replace it?
What is it?
The passage is here. Paragraph 2. When you swallow it, the sambusa goes into your food pipe called the esophagus, which carries it to your stomach. Okay. Viking, yes, windpipe. Thank you so much. Windpipe, that one is okay. Thank you for sharing. Let's go to the next one. The next one is gastric juice. What is the other word for gastric juice? The other word for gastric juice, by show of hands. Edwin, other word for gastric juice. Edwin?
Acidic juice.
Okay, acidic liquid, not acidic juice. Thank you, Edwin. Then what is the most important part of the digestive process? The next one. Where does the most important process happen? Jane Francis. Where does the most important part happen of digestion? Let me pick Liz. Liz is here. Liz? Okay, it seems Liz is also not currently available. Eliza?
The small intestines.
Yes, very true. The most important part happens in the small intestines. What happens in the small intestines, Liz, before you go away? Liz, what makes it important?
Yes.
What makes it very important?
Yes.
What makes the small intestines, that stage to be the most important?
The food pulp is broken down in the small intestine.
Really?
Yes.
Not really. Let's have Tendo to help us. Tendo, what happens in the small intestines? Tendo?
Teacher?
Yes?
It's where the small intestine is where the absorption of food into bloodstream take place.
Yes, and that's why it is important. The whole reason why we eat food is so that it is absorbed into our body, so that it's broken down and taken into our body to help us. Yes, other people are sharing faith, absorption. Yes, thank you. Oh, this is very bright. Thank you so much. You're very bright students. That is very nice. Okay, and then the last question under that. What is the other name for the rectum? The other word that can take the place of rectum. Mackenzie. Mackenzie, the other word that can replace rectum. Mackenzie, your network. Rehema, very fast. Rehema.
Meters.
The narrow end of the
Colon.
Which is also called
narrow end of the large intestine.
Yes. Which is
okay.
also
The nearest,
the
the nearest to it is the anus. We can simply bring it nearer to the anus, and that's what we call that. So thank you so much. Now, the remaining part, you're going to do it as an exercise, as practice exercise. I want you to match the things, copy this table below in your exercise book, summarize the digestive process described in the passage by choosing the information from list A and match it with the information in B. For example, what happens in the stomach? What happens in the large intestine, the rectum, and the anus? What happens in the mouth? What happens in the small intestines? So what I expect you to do is to draw something like this. Let me see here. I expect you to draw a table like this. This is A. And then you draw B. Then you'll be able to tell me that Roman 1, Roman 2, then you name the part here, stomach. What does the stomach do? You come and put what the stomach does here. Large intestines, what happens in the large intestines? That is your practice exercise that you're going to do. Have we understood that? Match what happens in the stomach. The events are here. You put them. What happens in the mouth? You match them with those that are in B. That is our sample exercise. Thank you so much for attending, and may God bless you all. Okay, teacher, is that work? Yes, all this work is in your Google Classroom. All this work is in your Google Classroom. I always make sure that I post work before I come for the lesson. So that is what we have for today. Unless otherwise, but that is what we have today.